Hey everybody, how you doing? This is Sean from Ridesharing101.com. And in today's video, I want to talk to you about the navigation app. Specifically, 4 major problems that I have with the Uber navigation app when I'm picking up and dropping off passengers. And these are things that really annoy me, things that I'm sure Uber knows about and they should have fixed a long time ago. But I needed a topic, so here we are. Issue number 4. And Uber needs to let their passengers know that when they request a ride, they need to be at the location and ready to go. I've gone to a lot of places to pick somebody up, and there's nobody there. And then a few minutes later, somebody comes out, we verify the information, and a lot of times they'll be nice. They'll say, "Oh, I'm sorry, I didn't know you were there. The Uber app says that you're 5 minutes away." In fact, it still says that you're 5 minutes away, but here you are. I got your message that said that you had arrived. Now, this isn't the passenger's fault necessarily. I like to be ready. I like to be prompt. I like to be early, in fact. Other people aren't the same way, and I can't really fault them for it. But Uber needs to tell them, please go to the location now and be ready. Times could be off, or your Uber driver could very well be early. They need to say something to the passenger to let them know. Don't just wait until the last minute to come down. Go out and meet your driver. This is especially helpful in the morning. If you do early morning, like 4 or 5, late at night, 11 or 12 to a residential area, it's dark. It's hard to see the addresses on the house. A lot of times the passengers will not leave their light on because they're going to be leaving. So if they're leaving in the morning, they're not going to leave the light on. And I've had lag time of like half a block where I drive to where the pin is indicated on the app, only to show that I've overshot where I'm supposed to go, where I finally do see an address and I realize that's 6 houses back. And then I have to reverse. Sometimes you can't do that. You have to loop around the block. It's not good. Uber really needs to explain to the passengers that they should be ready, especially when it comes to pool, because if you're doing a pool ride and you go to pick up the passenger and they're not there and you have passengers in the back, a lot of times they look up, they're like, what are we waiting for? What's going on? The person isn't here? Are we waiting? And that causes some problems, not hostility, but it can definitely affect you at tip time when the fare is over. So fourth item, tell the passengers to be ready at the spot and waiting. Number 3, this might seem a little odd. It might seem like nitpicking, but on my app, Uber confuses picking up and dropping off. For instance, I pull up to a passenger, we confirm identities, they get in. So let's say I pick up Linda. I'm driving, and I'll notice at the bottom, under the turn-by-turn instructions, it'll say, picking up Linda. And I'm like, oh my gosh, I've already picked up Linda. Did it not recognize that I picked her up? Did I start the fare early? Am I not getting paid? And I have to look and like, no, I see the arrows on the map. And I generally turn the sound down because I don't like the turn-by-turn instructions and the visual when I'm trying to talk to passengers and if I have the radio on. But with the sound up, sometimes it'll say, picking up Linda on the left. And I'm going, I'm not picking Linda up, I'm dropping her off. And then that will make me question, is this a pool ride? Am I picking up, is there another Linda that I'm picking up? Did I not realize that I accepted a pool fare? And what's going on? And it causes some confusion, especially if you've been driving for a while. You're like, am I coming or going? What's going on? So that's an easy enough fix, but it's been going on for a while. So Uber really needs to look at that. That's pretty basic, but it can cause confusion. Like I said, I don't know if I'm picking up or dropping off or what happened. So easy fix, but Uber should take care of it. Number 2. And this one, I've done a video just on this before, but it should be repeated. Uber should never allow pickups on the corner. I had a pickup a couple of days ago, and it said bus zone. It is illegal in San Francisco to pick somebody up in the bus zone. You'll get a ticket. Buses have forward-facing cameras. They can capture your license plate. They can mail you a ticket in the mail if you anger the bus driver and you do something stupid like don't get out of the way. Now, you can double park on the side of the bus zone as long as you're not in it, but the bus zones tend to be on the corner and you're now blocking traffic. If the light is green and you're stopped, cars will be honking at you. You will be backing up traffic. Not a good thing, especially in a busy city that's already congested like San Francisco. Also, for whatever reason, the more inconvenient the location, the longer it takes the passengers to get in and out of the vehicle. I don't know why this is, but if you're in a hurry, it'll be 3 people and one of them will have a cane and have a hard time getting in, and he won't be able to get seated, and he won't be able to shut the door, or, all kinds of crazy things. So avoid picking up passengers on a corner whenever possible. And Uber should mention this. They should also mention illegal pickup locations. We have what we call the Caltrain station. It's the commuter railroad station. It's at 4th and Townsend. At the very end of 4th and Townsend, if you drop people off, you'll get a ticket. People will come out. They'll write you a ticket. There is a passenger loading zone on the side, and that is where you need to load your passengers. If you try to go to the end to pick up the passenger, Uber should give you a message that says it is illegal or is prohibited from picking up passengers at the end of 4th and Townsend. Please go to the passenger loading zone around the corner, or you could get a ticket. If you're at the airport, if you're at SFO, they've changed the regulations. For picking up passengers at the gates, it's now on top of the parking garage for domestic. If you try to pick up passengers at the departure zone, it should tell you it is illegal to pick up passengers in the departure zone. You could incur a fine or a ticket. Please go to, the location for the parking garage. This is very important. It's easy enough to do. It will make the whole process much quicker, much easier, and it will save drivers from getting a ticket. And it's hard enough making money as it is with Uber and Lyft slashing their rates. So they should be doing what they can to ensure that drivers keep the money that they make. The number one problem I have with the navigation app is Uber does not leave the destination location at the top of the map. When I go to pick somebody up, once I accept the ride, I get a general overview of the map. I see a line of the route really quickly. The passenger gets in. Once I start moving, it now goes into turn-by-turn mode. It'll tell me estimated mileage and estimated minutes. And I can see probably 3 or 4 blocks at a time of where we're going. If I want to see further on down, I need to scroll with my finger on the map on the screen to see where I'm going. I have been driving for a long time. Well, I've been driving Uber for 5 years, but I've been living in San Francisco and driving since 1992. I know the city quite well. I know a lot of different routes, a lot of different ways from getting from one place to another. A lot of times, if I knew where the passenger was going, I might know a more convenient route to get there. For instance, Van Ness is a three-lane street in each direction that cuts across San Francisco. This weekend, we have an event called Clusterfest, and it's a traditional comedy event with some bands that play. It's taking place at Union Square, which is one block off of Van Ness, and they've shut down the streets, and it's a clusterfest, if you will, of traffic. Now, if I know I need to travel down in that area, I know that a block over there's Franklin Street. Franklin Street is a one-way street, 3 lanes of traffic, and it parallels Van Ness. There's Goff, which is going in the other direction, same thing. If I know where the passenger is going and I know that I need to pass by the area of Civic Center where Clusterfest is happening, I can pop on over to Franklin and I can avoid a lot of that traffic nightmare. But since Uber doesn't tell me where the passenger is going, I don't know to do that. For whatever reason, Uber loves it when you go onto the freeway. So it'll say, you get on the freeway, you get off at 7th Street or 4th Street, and it gets you downtown. Well, a lot of times, depending on traffic, I can go on Bryant Street and do the same thing, and it'll be faster because I don't have to worry about merging, and I don't have to worry about any of the freeway traffic. Again, if I don't know where the passenger is going, I can't make these decisions. When you can anticipate problems with traffic, the passengers appreciate it. You can say, hey, the Uber app wants me to go get on 101 and then get off at 4th Street, but if I go down Bryant, I think I can get us there about 5 or 10 minutes faster. Is that okay with you? The passenger's like, oh yeah, great. Yeah, let's avoid the freeway. They appreciate your input, and you're more likely to get a tip at the end of the fare. So more money is what this is about for us. At least for me. I don't think the rest of you are doing it for strictly humanitarian reasons, although I'm sure they could play into it a little bit. So, and a lot of times I ask passengers, so where are you going? And they look at me and they're like, don't you know? And then I have to explain to them. I use it as an educational process. That, oh, I'm sorry, the Uber app doesn't give me your final destination. If you look at the screen, if you can take a look, it just goes into turn-by-turn mode. So I see about 3 or 4 blocks at a time. And they're like, oh, I didn't know that. And I'm like, yeah, unfortunately, I've been here in the city since 1992. I know all the routes. I know where to go. But if Uber doesn't tell me your destination, I can't get you there as fast as I'd like to and save you some money. And then the passengers really warm up. Oh, the driver wants to save me some money. This is a good guy. I like him. I'm going to give him 5 stars. I'm going to give him a nice tip. Now, sometimes you get people like, well, I put the destination in the app. And then you can figure out how you want to handle them. You could be like, oh, I'm sorry, sir. I know you did. Unfortunately, and then you explain the whole situation. Or you can get kind of snide with them and say, yeah, but unfortunately the Uber app doesn't show me that. And, I've forgotten more about driving in the city than you're ever going to know. You can go that route if you kind of want to be snobby. I wouldn't recommend it. Although a lot of times I want to tell people that, look, I know you're not going to give me a tip and I know you're a cheap bastard, but if you just shut up and tell me what I want to know, I can get you there. I would avoid doing that. I don't think you're going to get a tip. But have I felt like that? On many occasions. On many occasions when you explain to people, they're actually very nice. And they're like, oh, thank you for telling me. And you're like, oh, yeah, no problem. And I go, if there's ever a special way you want to go, it's okay to let your driver know. And a lot of times people warm up to that. And so that's something else that you can do. As I always say, talk to your passengers. They'll appreciate it. But as I said, those are 4 things. Let's just, end it there. I don't know why Uber doesn't post the final location. I don't know why they don't tell you if it's on the left side of the street or the right side of the street. They can easily figure that out. They should. It would make all the driver's lives much more easy, a lot easier, if you will. And there you have it. Those are my 4 things. I wanted to get them off my chest. The more I think about things, I can probably come up with, half a dozen additional ones. But those are the big ones. Let me know what you think. Make your suggestions, make your comments. If you like the video, subscribe, and I appreciate it. Drive safe, and I'll see you next video.